The release of Claude Design triggered an immediate 7% drop in Figma stock, signaling a market that is suddenly reevaluating the future of UI tools. Within hours, the industry discussion shifted from standard UI/UX workflows to a sudden panic over the obsolescence of professional design software. At its core, the platform uses Anthropic's Opus 4.7 model to transform raw PDFs, screenshots, or text prompts into fully interactive, code-backed prototypes. If you build digital products, the immediate dilemma is clear. Do you need to abandon your current design stack and move your entire workflow into an AI canvas? To find the answer, we have to look past the viral demos and evaluate the tool using a practical framework. We are measuring 3 specific criteria: generation accuracy, the hidden costs of scaling usage, and the quality of the code integration. Our goal is to move past the cherry-picked marketing examples and see how the platform handles the complexity of building a messy, real-world application. Determining whether this is a temporary bridging tool or a final production environment is the only way to avoid a major disruption to your existing workflow. The process begins by providing Claude with a baseline, either by uploading a raw design system or prompting a functional UI from a description. On our evaluation matrix, this first step scores as high value with low friction. Generating a mockup in seconds beats manual layout. However, friction increases as the AI ignores brand guidelines, washes out colors, or hallucinates assets. To address these errors, you use the iteration canvas. You can draw thick arrows and leave very specific text comments directly on the generated interface to request necessary changes. The AI then batches these visual comments together to attempt a layout update without requiring the user to touch the underlying code. In this beta stage, the feedback loop often introduces regressions, like broken text wrapping or layout shifts that didn't exist in the previous version. Stability is a major concern, with users reporting entire design files and project workspaces vanishing without warning during the feedback process. This lack of reliability forces you to manually manage and download your assets after every generation, rather than trusting the platform to save your progress. Consequently, the iterative phase of the project drops into the high-friction quadrant. The time you saved initially is quickly consumed by micromanaging the model. The first draft is efficient, but finalizing that draft currently creates almost as many problems as the tool attempts to solve. There is also an economic factor to consider. Standard design work requires generating multiple layout variations to find the best approach. Comparing 3 or 4 different versions of a UI is the only way to ensure the final layout meets your user's needs. This graph shows the heavy token burn required for that workflow. Requesting multiple interactive versions can exhaust 50% of your weekly quota in a single session. When you hit that ceiling, your workflow completely stops, making iterative design financially prohibitive. For those who finish a design, the next phase is the Developer Handoff, where the tool moves from visual design to engineering. The export process is straightforward. You click a handoff button and run a generated command in your terminal. This pulls functional HTML, CSS, and JSX components directly into your local project folder. While the transfer is smooth, the flowchart shows a significant structural bottleneck in the actual code quality. The AI generates traditional inline code. This often clashes with the strict requirements of modern component libraries or utility-first CSS systems like Tailwind. Therefore, developers always end up performing extensive downstream refactoring just to make the AI's output fit into a production-ready codebase. This puts the code handoff in the high-value, high-friction category. You are essentially trading upfront boilerplate writing for complex backend cleanup. The promise of a zero-code environment is false. Users simply swap the effort of initial coding for the effort of refactoring and strict token management. The reality check is that Claude Design is a powerful prototyping environment, not a replacement for professional design software or final-mile production. It functions best as a translation layer, a way to quickly turn a product manager's requirements into a functional bridge for engineers. This scorecard determines whether the tool fits your specific role. Solo developers and product managers should adopt it immediately. For them, the value of reaching a functional mockup quickly is the highest priority. In these roles, the speed of testing an interactive idea with users outweighs the current friction of the platform's bugs. Enterprise teams and dedicated UI specialists, however, face a different trade-off. When your project requires pixel-perfect adherence to established corporate systems, the time spent correcting AI hallucinations and managing token limits exceeds the time saved. View Claude Design as an interactive whiteboard that speaks code, rather than an automated replacement for a skilled designer. It is a way to accelerate your starting point, but you must still expect to finish the integration yourself. Claude builds the functional framework in seconds, but the process stops before reaching the nuanced logic and architectural integration required for a final product. This workflow collapses the time between a raw concept and a working interactive reality.